At the moment it's really hot in the UK, and I'm also trying to tackle my peppermint bushes and the spearmint that I have that every so often go a little bit crazy, and I need to find ways to deal with them. One of the ways that I deal with them is I like to hang them up around the house. Normally with the peppermint, I don't often put it in a flower basket on the wall because it goes limp so quickly, so normally what I do is I'll hang it upside down in a bushel and just have it drying in the corner, or if I have something like the lemon balm or the spearmint, I'll wrap that around with a little bit of string and then put it in the hook in the bathroom or in the downstairs toilet. And I love this because it's a really easy way for me to make sure that I can keep all my mint plants from going too wild and crazy, and also have the house smelling really, really nice. While there are skincare benefits for peppermint and spearmint, I am mainly just using them for the smell. In the hot weather, I want something that is going to smell very, very fresh. So that's what I'm using these two plants for. And I also want a zesty smell. So I'm going to be using some of my homegrown Calmondin. You do not want to use something which is just bought from the shops, because if they're sprayed with any kind of pesticides, that's going to be in the skin and it's going to end up in the spray. So if you have access to something homegrown that you know isn't sprayed, use that. You could also use things like chamomile or rose or lavender, but today I'm just going to be using the mints, the calamondin, and I'm also going to be using salt. It's got loads and loads of minerals like magnesium, potassium, calcium that are incredibly good for your skin, but it's also things like antibacterial, antifungal. You don't want to use too much of it, so I'm just going to be using a small pinch. But to make the rest of the spray, you want to wash everything, make sure there's no bugs in there. Then you're going to fill up a pot with water. I always like to make a little bit more than I need to. I'm going to put this on a very, very low heat for 15 minutes. You could leave it for longer, but to be honest, I'm going to try and use this within 3 to 5 days, so I'm not going to bother making it too strong. Once the water goes kind of greeny yellow, it's good. Once that's done and cooled down, I'm going to be reusing an old spray bottle. I also have a small funnel for bottles like this, so I'm going to use that as well. And then we're going to use a salt. And we are not going to be using tons of salt. You do not have to use pink Himalayan salt. This is just what I use because I need to avoid any microplastics in my diet. So I'm going to take a tiny, tiny pinch of this. You do not need a big spoon of it. Put that straight into the bottle, and then you want to pour out the water, the mint water. And once you've poured in the mint water, that's when we're going to move on to the citrus. Now ideally you would want to use dried citrus. Whenever you use things like dried plants, it's always a little bit more potent, and also you have less chance of things going off. But because this has got to be used within 3 to 5 days and it's going to be kept in the fridge, I'm not too bothered about that because it will be used up before anything causes problems. For the leftover calamondin, that's going to go straight into my tea. I just want the zest. You can either just rip it off in chunks with your finger, or you can cut it off with a knife. I don't like zesting it just because the little zests can sometimes get stuck inside the spray bottle, so I like to make big little pieces of this, put it straight into the bottle. Then I'm just going to screw the lid on, and then that's it. Keep it in the fridge for 3 to 5 days max. Try and use it up in that time. And if you don't, it's fine. You can empty it out and make some more. If you like my content and want to follow me on Patreon, that's where you can find my early content, extra content, and see the thought process behind things like my books, cover designs, videos, and artwork. You can also find me on Instagram, but the best place to follow me and make sure that all my new content is sent directly to you is through my website and the mailing list. On the top right hand corner, you put your name, the email you want your new content to be sent to, and that's it. You're done.